This is just sexy. It's sexy. It's sexy and sweet, and it means that I would never use the perfume that's inside. Oh. Okay, so I have been saying on my channel quite a bit recently that I haven't been spending that much on makeup, skincare, and that most of my finances have been going into fragrance. And today I am here to share with you what I purchased. So I hope you enjoy this fragrance haul. I have several scents here to share with you. All of them are full size other than a couple of the like travel sprays that I'm gonna share with you. I will be honest, I have also spent a good chunk of money on fragrance samples, but I mean, I honestly, in the last month, I have acquired 25 fragrance samples, maybe not 25, 15 to 20. I haven't even counted. So I thought that if you're curious about my thoughts on those, let me know down below. I definitely have found some really great ones and ones that I would never, ever buy a full bottle of or wear again. So if you wanna know my thoughts on those, I will do a separate video. I love doing these fragrance videos. I'm just not sure here on my channel if, you know, it's something that you're all interested in. So let me know down below. And if you are really interested in fragrance videos, what you can do is give this video a like. It really does help me out. It lets me know and lets YouTube know that you wanna see more of these. All right, but if we haven't met before, thank you for stopping by for this fragrance video. My name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist. And here on my channel, I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. We've got a lot to talk about, so I'm gonna dive right into this one. So let's start out with all of these. By the way, with what I could, I decided to keep the packaging just so that you could see how these fragrances come packaged. For some people, that's a really significant part of the experience of getting a fragrance. For me, it isn't so much, although I do think that these are all pretty cute, so I wanted to share that with you. So we're gonna get into the full-size fragrances first. I am going to share one right off the bat that I talked about in another video because this was one that we got a sample of, and by we, I mean Jeremy and I, in our Olfactive Deluxe subscription. In fact, 3 out of the 4 full-size fragrances here that I'm going to be sharing with you, I learned about through Olfactive. So if you missed out on that video that I did where Jeremy and I tested all 6 of the scents, I will first of all have that one linked down below. But Olfactive is a site where you are able to get a subscription box. You can get the women's, the men's, or the deluxe set. So every month you will be sent 3 or 6 scents to be able to try out in little sample sizes. But they also are a site where you can purchase any of the scents that they have available for sampling. And yes, you can also get samples. You can purchase samples of all of their scents, which I really do love. It's amazing. It's also a little dangerous. I'm not gonna lie, because all 3 of these scents were ones that I got in my subscription boxes. I think I did 2 months of the deluxe version, maybe even 3. I have now gone into just doing the women's, honestly, just to pare down on the amount of samples that I get because I had a lot. Okay, so anyway, this was in the first set that I remember trying out. I don't actually think it was the first set that I got because I think it had been a while. I sat on them for a while, but this is the one that Jeremy and I opened. And this is the Fruits of the Tree of Knowledge. I don't know why I'm looking at it because I've talked about it so much. This is from 4160 Tuesdays. And the thing about Olfactive is that it's a lot of niche fragrance brands. I would say that the majority of the brands on there are niche fragrance brands. The one that I can think of that's more like mainstream is Juliet Has a Gun, but a lot of them are fragrance brands that I've never heard of or have maybe heard of from doing a deep dive into other fragrance channels. Well, fragrance channels. I'm not a fragrance channel, but other channels and being like, oh, that sounds really interesting. So I was really excited to try this one. So first of all, I have to say, since trying this fragrance house in the Olfactive subscription, I have tried several other samples, and I really think that this brand is very good at almost like scent memory. You know, they have some very unique blends, some that I've loved and some that I haven't, I will be honest, but it's very unique fragrances. I think most of these are not something that you would think are like run-of-the-mill scents. Now, I think that this is very understated, chic packaging. Hopefully you're able to see it. The juice kind of hides it, but you have this little like geometric design on the front. Now, I'm gonna go off of the olfactif site for the scent profiles of these, and this scent, I tell you what, I have used up that sample. I've used up the sample that I got, and I knew, like, after wearing this twice, I knew I needed to buy it. And the thing about 4160 Tuesdays is that they are, you know, they're a niche brand, and so they do like smaller collections. So I was actually looking on the brand website and I didn't see this one listed at all. So I sort of went into like panic mode, because when I was like Googling it, I was like, okay, the only place that has it right now is olfactif. And I'm wondering if they are like discontinuing it, or maybe this like launch has just run out. I was like, I need to get this right now. And I was able to get it with 20% off. Now, the thing that to me makes this scent very unique is the fact that it is very fruit forward, but it's not overly cloyingly sweet. I think a lot of times fruity fragrances really make me think of like Bath and Body Works sprays, where it's just like too sweet. And this is very fresh fruit. So the notes on this include cherry jam, raspberry, lemon, orange. I think it means peach. It says reach in here, but I think that was a typo. Watermelon, flowers, and a woody sandalwood accord. So from this, now I know that the brand says that a lot of people get cherry jam right off the top, but there isn't any cherry notes actually in here. I don't get cherry from this whatsoever. Like, I really don't. Maybe if you tell me there's cherry jam, it makes my brain want to find it, but right away I got raspberry from this, but very fresh raspberry, not like raspberry candies, not like raspberry jam, that more like muddled fresh raspberry smell. It is so good. I do get a bit of the citrus, and actually I get a little bit of that watermelon note. And this is it's just a fresh, mood boosting vibe to me. I know that it says here on the olfactif site, flowers, but I don't get much flora out of this at all. I do think it would pair really well if you wanted to pair it with another floral scent that you have. There's just something about this one that I love. Now, the thing that really gets me about this fragrance is that it is so raspberry forward, that fruity note, but it isn't overly sweet. It's just so exciting for me in my collection. It's different than anything I have and different than anything I've smelled before. There's just something about it that I really love. I could definitely see getting a bigger bottle of this at some point. This is the only size that olfactif has, but I do believe that the brand site has bigger bottles. However, they are a UK-based company, so I think that there is like heavier shipping costs involved with that. But if I ever got the opportunity, I would definitely snag another one, even though I'm just starting to crank into this. So again, if you like fresh, fruity scents, if you like something that's kind of light, I will say that this probably on the skin lasts me about 4 hours, but it's just so lovely. It's so lovely. I am really happy to have this one, and this is what started my love affair with 4160 Tuesdays, and also what sort of made me going in the deep dive on the olfactif site. Okay, I could ramble on and on about that scent, but I'm going to try not to. Also, if you're interested in more scent thoughts from me, please make sure you're following on Instagram. My friend Stephen Ford and I do Scent Sunday every week, so we share a scent sample that we're going to be using for the week, give you our thoughts on it. Some are loves, some are loathes, so make sure to check that out. Now let's go into, let's see, the next fragrance that I got from olfactif, also from having a sample of it in my subscription box, is In Love with Everything from Imaginary Authors. Now, this is a fragrance house that I have tried 1 or 2 samples of before. This is one that I just thought was so incredibly unique, so fun that I needed it in my life. So I feel like this brand always does fun packaging. If you aren't familiar, like you can tell that this is meant to look like a book, because Imaginary Authors really takes inspiration from that storytelling vibe. You'll find that even some of the notes in here are not necessarily like true notes, but the essence of something, like the thought, the vibe, the feel of something, and I really like that. I'm a little bit tempted to keep this packaging because I could see, because there are some other scents from this brand that I am really enjoying, and I could see like lining these up on a bookshelf, like in a fragrance area. I don't have that opportunity, and it means that I would never use the perfume that's inside. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize this. They give you, I haven't opened this up. They give you a little sample. Is this the same sample or is it different? Hold on, we're making discoveries together. Let me dig this out. No, it's a different scent. Ooh, this is fun. This is a whiff of waffle cone. Okay, stay tuned. I will be putting this one in my upcoming scent sample video if you want to see it. Oh my gosh, that is so fun. Okay, so this is the beautiful package. You can see, I mean, it's just so fun. It's very, I don't know, it's just very whimsical. And then they always do the notes on the back as well. So this scent, and I'm gonna again read off of the olfactive site, a tropical punch blend with neon raspberries and citrus pulp is what starts this party off. As the night goes on, the coconut, palm sugar, and sandalwood gives you a creamy base to lay on after an all-nighter in seedy South Beach bars pre-Miami Vice. Grab your roller skates, it's about to get wild in here. So the notes listed in this include neon raspberry, citrus pulp, coconut palm sugar, Madame Isaac Perrier, sandalwood, tropical punch, and stardust. So obviously there are a couple in there that aren't actually included in here. Although if the brand has figured out how to add stardust into a fragrance, I love that. So I do still have some of my sample, but I'm not quite sure where that is. So I'm gonna actually crack into the full size. Oh, yeah, this is so good. So again, this is another fruity one, which is not normally my vibe, but this definitely, it smells like fruit punch, like Hawaiian punch from when I was a kid, but with a creamy, sexy vibe to it. Like definitely like hot weather with like a little flirty, sexy thing going on. This just smells so good. I think that this is gonna be a fun one through the summer. Like, oh, it's just fun. Like it definitely is like exhilarating, kind of gives me like a mood boost. I just think that, again, this is one that's just gonna be so much fun to wear. And now, like I'm definitely getting a lot of that sandalwood out of it. So it starts off with that of that fruit in the beginning, but it dries down a little bit more cozy on your skin because of that sandalwood. So good. So I obviously have two very fruity scents here, but they are so different. So the Fruits of the Tree of Knowledge, it's a little bit more cold. So I've talked about this before, like, cause the last fragrance video I did, I was sort of like talking about it in temperature. Like this smells like iced fruit. Like it's a little bit more chilly. I would say it's in that like 65-degree range. There's just something about it that it just feels like more breezy. Like, yeah, like you're mashing raspberries outside on a breezy day in the spring. Whereas the Imaginary Authors it's not like so hot and sticky. Like we're not talking about like a 95-degree day in Miami. This is more like springtime in Miami or like nighttime in Miami when it's not quite so hot. Like maybe you were hot earlier in the day, but now you're kind of cooling down. I would say that this is more like 75 degrees, but definitely warmer in scent. I think part of it is because of that sandalwood. It just gives it that like cozier vibe that I associate with like warmer skin temperature. So that's definitely something like, yeah, this one's a little bit warmer. So that's where I would start with that. Okay, so now let's go into Enlightenment. And this is from a fragrance house that I had never heard of before getting my olfactif subscription. This is Christelle Jacquemin. So I hope I was close on that, but I just really like the simplicity of this box. It's, you know, just a simple like wooden box. I can't remember, what was this, balsam wood? I can't remember. And then just a simple little ribbon. So I'm gonna take this off. Again, this is one that I haven't cracked into yet because I still have some of the sample. Although now that I have the full size, I should probably stop using the samples so that I can like travel with those. Should have thought more about that. So inside of our little box, we have this cute little fragrance sleeping bag. I think that's super cute. All right, so here we have this pretty little bottle. It's simple but nice. And I did just go ahead and get the 30 ml bottle of this. They do have a 50 ml available as well, but I have so many scents and I was trying to keep the budget down a little bit. So it was a little of both on this. Now this, I would say, is a very unisex fragrance, and I read the description because when this came in my subscription, you always get like little descriptor cards, and I was like, this sounds amazing. So I want to read this to you. Did you ever smell snow or pure ice rippling off a glacier, that hard to describe purity and freshness that smells translucent and metallic at the same time? Well, here's your chance to get really close to that smell in a bottle. Enlightenment is a woody yet ultimately aromatic scent. The notes of this are white sage, bay St. Thomas, elemi, Szechuan pepper, orris, styrax, starch needles, black spruce needles, and sea fennel. So I don't know where my sample is of this one, but I will say I sort of regretted, I got the small size, and while it totally makes sense for me, I did regret it a little bit just because I like the way that this smells on me, and I also like the way that it smells on Jeremy. So it was kind of like, oh, I could have gotten it for us both to use, but I just got the smaller one. So let me give you my vibe on this. Now this is another one that I know that I've recommended to a few people. It just smells like cold, crisp air, with a little bit of that herbal note for that freshness, but not herbal in like something that you want to rub on chicken before you put it in the oven. Like, okay, for instance, like Aveda hair products. To me, all of those, in fact, anything by Aveda, it just smells like something that I would rub on chicken before I put it in the oven. It's very rosemary, just that very like cookie herb scent. This is herbal in a fresh, almost bright way. Like it just makes me think again of like light on snow, you know, like just that very white, crisp, icy scent. I really like it. It's very light. It is very light. I doubt that this is going to be something that someone would smell on their skin for a long time. I think it's probably something that you just go a bit nose blind to after a while. There's just something about this that is like that fresh, clean skin feel without smelling like that showery vibe. And again, it just smells like cold air. Like to me, this is definitely in that like 35 degrees, you know, like just that cold winter day. But that being said, I think that this could be a really refreshing spring and summer scent, or even something to like layer with. I think you could pair this with scents that are a bit heavier to kind of like simmer them down a little bit. But I also think that just the warm weather would like accentuate the scents in this if you like more of a fresh vibe without it smelling like cleaning products. Again, you know, I feel like a lot of aquatics or a lot of citrus scents on me, I just feel like they smell like they're a cleaning product, and I don't love that. This one doesn't do that. It just has that fresh vibe. I'm so happy to have this in my collection. All of these really, they just give me an emotional connection. Whether it's like, oh my gosh, this is so fun, or it's like zesty. It makes me feel zesty, whatever that means. Or if it's just like that bright feel. You know, that to me is why I love fragrance. It can either help put me in a mood that I'm trying to get to, or it can help enhance a mood that I'm already in. And this one definitely does that. All right, another new to me brand that I am very excited to share with you, because this brand is known for creating dupe scents. And no, it's not Dossier. I actually found this through a fragrance channel called The Scented, and I honestly do not know how I came across her video, but it happened to be like something like the only dupes I'd keep around or something like that. And she was talking about one of the particular scents from this fragrance house, and I was like, well, I have to try this. So the fragrance house is Juliana's Perfumes, and this is the box that this scent came in. I just think that this is so cute. Like the fact that the packaging is so like, I mean, it's got a magnetic closure, like, wow, it is just, it's really great. I think that that's a little touch that is great. Now, this scent is called Aurora, and the scent that this is said to dupe is the very well-known and the very expensive Baccarat Rouge 540. So I was very curious to try this. I do actually have Baccarat Rouge 540 in a little decant that my wonderful friend Jennifer from All Feisty has sent over. And honestly, I totally meant to put these on side by side one day and let you know if it's an accurate dupe. Okay, hi, Kelly from several hours later. So the perfume that I was wearing on my skin earlier is completely gone. I washed both of my arms where I had placed it. So I'm just gonna do a dupe wear test for you right now. So I have the Aurora from Juliana's Perfume right here, and then I have the decant of Baccarat Rouge 540. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for sending this my way. So we're gonna try these on and we will see initial thoughts, and then I'm gonna come back after 4 or 5 hours of wear and I will let you know. Very excited to try this out. Okay, so this is the original Baccarat. I should have grabbed my phone to look at the notes, but I literally just ran up here. In case you hear a shower, that's Jeremy in the background in the shower. I mean, he's not in the background in here. That would be a little weird. He's in the bathroom and I left the hall door open. He's getting ready because we're gonna be going to a movie in a little bit, but I thought this would be a good time to try these out. Okay, I have to be honest, they are not a complete dupe. They're not a complete dupe. We'll see what it's like in the dry down, but initially the Baccarat Rouge is much more spicy. I get a little bit of pepper. Yeah. I have to be honest. I was about to say I like Aurora better, but I think this is so hard. So I feel like layering the two together would be really good. And one thing that I remember hearing from a lot of people is that Baccarat Rouge 540 doesn't have as much longevity. So it would be interesting if you did have like a little mini of this guy to first, you know, maybe lay down this one first and then put the original right over the top. I mean, I don't know how much money that saves you. Some, right? Because you could do like half of each, but okay. We're gonna see. I'll be back in a few hours and we'll see A, which one lasted longer, if they smell the same, and if I like one over the other. All right, sorry, last night we got home from the movie pretty late and I did all the things, I washed my face and I laid down in bed and I was like, oh, I never did that update. But I did do a bunch of sniff tests throughout the night. I'd asked Jeremy his opinion and definitely one more time before the night was over, I checked these two fragrances and here's what I will say. This scent is not a perfect dupe for Baccarat Rouge 540, but it is close. Both Jeremy and I felt that this one just doesn't have quite as much spice. And in looking at the notes, I feel like one of the things is the fact that Aurora does have vanilla listed in it. And I actually don't see vanilla listed on Baccarat Rouge at all. So top notes are saffron and jasmine, middle notes are amberwood and ambergris, and the base notes are fir resin and cedar. Now the base notes of Aurora are amber, vanilla, and oak moss. So I think it's the vanilla that is making this a little bit stronger, a little bit sweeter, and you miss a little bit of that spiciness. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just that like resiny smell that comes across as like spicy, but Jeremy too, like when I had him smell them, I was like, all right, I have a dupe on one side and the very expensive one on the other side. And I did not tell him which was which. Even when he picked his favorite, I waited until after the end of the night when he did the like remaining scent check with me right before we went to bed. But he said that Aurora smelled stronger and that he could smell it further into the evening, but it wasn't quite as spicy. And so he said he liked Baccarat Rouge 540 better, but definitely I think we both noticed that it just didn't stick around as long. So if you like vanilla, I think that this is a good option to kind of get the vibe because it's definitely there. It's like 80% like Baccarat. I do think if you layered this with something that's a little bit more woody or a little bit more spicy, you could definitely get closer to Baccarat. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this, but there is a 1.2 ounce size of Baccarat Rouge that is, I believe, $1.95. And for reference, this bottle right here is 1.1 ounce. So for $59, you can get the 50 mils of Aurora or $195 for the Baccarat Rouge. And I have to say, right now, I don't see myself purchasing the Baccarat, but I'm looking at Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille, and I have purchased the 30 mil or the 1 ounce size of that for $180. So, you know, that's around, honestly, that's around the same price, but there is something so unique and delicious to me about Tobacco Vanille, and I really do love that one. I like Baccarat Rouge 540. I just don't know that it speaks to me enough to pay full price at this time. So we will see. Probably one day I'll be eating my words and I totally will have purchased it. But I just wanted to say that, you know, even if I did that, I could see layering these two together because I would get the longevity of this one, but still get that like spicy uniqueness of the original Baccarat. So I really like this one. I am definitely going to be curious to try more of these Juliana's perfumes. I haven't really gone through the site to see which other dupes there are. Right now I'm really trying to like, I've done a lot, y'all. So I'm really trying to like cool my jets for a bit, but I would be very curious to see. And, you know, definitely at that $60 range. I will say, I think some of the fragrances vary in price, so I do think that there were some that were even less expensive than this. I might be wrong on that, but definitely check out the site. I will make sure to have it linked down below. But thank you for going along on this dupe tryout journey with me. Let me know if you've ever tried anything from this brand, especially if you've tried a different scent. Leave us a comment down below so that we can all check and see if there's another good dupe to try. All right, let's get back into the fragrance haul. Now, what I will tell you right off the bat is even if it's not a dupe, I freaking love this scent. It smells so good. I do have to say I was a bit sad because when I got this, I opened up the box that it came in, and I could just tell that this had leaked because this whole box was like kind of covered in, you know, liquid, and it had leaked out a good little bit out all over the packaging. It was kind of a shame, and I was like wiping it up, and Jeremy's like, I'm surprised you're like wiping that up with a rag. I'm surprised you're not just like putting that all over yourself or all over something. And I was like, oh, you're so right. I should have even just been like using a little something to like throw in like a lingerie drawer or something. I was like, I'm wasting all of this liquid. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But I thought it was funny that he was like, why are you wasting that scent? So the box still smells good, but I just think that those little finishing touches, even the packaging, while it's not overly luxe, it still is nice. It still has, you know, a nice vibe to it. So just for a little price difference here, Baccarat Rouge 540 in a 2.4 ounce is $325, okay? Now, this little bottle right here is 50 mils, which is not quite 2 ounces. 60 mils, I believe, would be 2 ounces. But this one is $59, $59 at full price. You're saving quite a bit of money. You're saving quite a bit of money. So let me tell you the notes in this fragrance. And it does say right on here that it has a very similar DNA to Baccarat Rouge 540. So the top notes are violet, jasmine, and saffron. The heart notes are praline, ambergris, and the base notes are amber, vanilla, and oak moss. This is... I just don't know. This is all the things. Now you do have to like something that's a little bit sweet. You definitely have to like vanilla. It's just, it has a little bit of like almost smokiness to it. It has a little bit, I mean, you can definitely get that ambergris in here. It has that like just headiness, that like rich, it's just like, it's rich, it's sweet, but it's not like cloying. It's so yummy. And when you think of violet and jasmine on the top, it's not an overly floral scent. This is just sexy. It's sexy. It's sexy and sweet, and it smells so good. I could definitely see this being a great layerable as well. However, you know, if I think about a fragrance that is expensive as Baccarat is, it just seems weird to be like layering with it. That's sort of like cheapening it. I don't even know. I would think I would want to wear that one singularly, but that's just me. But when it's something like this that I got for $60, you know, I really don't mind like layering it and creating my own thing with it. But I honestly, I don't know that I would ever buy a full bottle of Baccarat Rouge. So while today I can't tell you if this is an accurate dupe, I can tell you that it is really amazing and I really enjoy it. Oh, and I did want to mention, like, if I'm thinking about temperature of this fragrance, it is that like sexy, you know, rich, I don't want to say caramelized, but it has that deeper feel to it. So I would put this in that like 70, 75 degree, maybe even up to 80 degree feel to it, where it does feel quite a bit warmer because it is so rich. So I'm so excited to know about this fragrance house. I haven't tried anything else from the brand. I would consider buying something in the future. They have a lot of different scents, but I will say again, since it is a small company, they basically do batches, and a lot of times you have to get on a wait list. So I actually got on a wait list for Aurora after seeing that other video. I would say it was maybe 3 weeks before they sent me a, hey, like, you're in line, it's your turn, go ahead and order. So I would be curious to try a couple of the others. The only thing is, like, then when you do that, I am tempted to not get dupes of what I already have, but to get something new that sounds exciting, and then maybe get a little sample of the other fragrance to see if it is an accurate dupe or not. I don't really know. Have you heard of this brand at all? Have you tried any other dupes from this brand? I would be very curious to know. But I'm excited to tell all of you if you haven't heard about it, or if you are a Baccarat Rouge 540 lover and you want something that's maybe a little bit more budget friendly, this would be a way to go. Okay, so now my little travel sample sizes. So I have both of these from Scentbird. I did share in another fragrance video that I had treated myself to a Scentbird subscription right around the holidays, and I want to share with you these 2 scents because I do really like both of them. However, one is a very, very close dupe for another fragrance that I love. And you know, while I had to sort of laugh at myself and roll my eyes, I think that that is probably going to happen on occasion, because once you get into fragrance and you know the notes that you enjoy, that's going to be what you're drawn to, especially in something like, you know, when I was doing Scentbird, I just was picking things that I've never tried, that I've never smelled. So I was just going off of the notes. So I'm not really surprised. And I'm going to share this one with you first. So this is Orange in Chestnut, and this is from Scents of Wood. Now, the first fragrance that I got was from Scents of Wood. I think that one might be Sandalwood and Oak. I could be lying, but I think that's the one that it is. And this one, when I smelled it, I had to laugh because this really, to me, smells sort of on the lines of Ellis Brooklyn West. And I've talked about that one being like, it is a very citrusy scent, but it's not that, again, that citrus that smells like cleaning products. To me, West smells a little bit soapy, but you have that very like citrus forward orange with maybe just like a little bit of lemon or something like that. Like it just is that very fresh, effervescent scent. So while Ellis Brooklyn West has a bit more of like an airy, like I think I said, like you're fresh out of the shower, hanging out in the Amalfi Coast, you're gonna go for a ride in your car along the coastline in the breeze. It has that vibe. This one has some of that, but it's a little bit more woodsy. It has a little bit more of that rich vibe to it, but still fresh and citrusy. I have to pull up the notes on this one. Okay, so I'm on the Scents of Wood site. This is another like wordy scent description, but it says it's vibrant, golden, and spicy. A blend that harnesses the brisk, sunny vitality of the orange tree with a modern, woody amber. The result is an eminently wearable on any occasion. Orange and Chestnut is both provocative and soft, daring the wearer to lose themselves in the moment. Yikes, this is a pricey one. For a 75 milliliter bottle, it's $240. Ooh, okay. So here it says, a sweet, invigorating aroma of orange flowers calls back to life's simple joys and the unique vitality of freshly picked fruits from whose fragrance lingers intimately on the skin. A harmonizing base of cedarwood heart and amber extreme unveils a warm and inviting aroma that places you in the heart of the Moroccan orchard that inspired this gorgeous fragrance. Give a little sniff here. With a base of orange flower absolute, charming notes of neroli oil and orange bigarade become all the more tempting and sophisticated, creating a bouquet that feels intimate and inviting. It definitely is like that sexier, like they said, like more ambery vibe of the same scent. Whereas West is like that light, airy, like that's like daytime in the breeze. This is more like nighttime, you know? Like if West is like, let's say 65, 70 degrees, this one is more like 80 degrees. It just has that deeper, richer, woodsy scent to it. And I think that that woodsy vibe is gonna stick closer to the skin, and you're just gonna get that like cozy feel, that like sexy, cozy vibe to it. I really like this. I honestly did not realize it was that expensive. And I don't think that this was one that I had to pay an upgrade price for. You know, honestly, sometimes I'm like, is it just worth it to just like buy these through Scentbird? Because chances are that I'm probably not ever gonna buy a $240 bottle for an ounce and a half. I don't know. So, you know, I don't even know how much my Scentbird subscription is. Is that ridiculous? But I don't. I will find it and I will link it down here below. But I feel like this is a really great way to get to try some scents that are kind of spendy, see if it's worth a full size. But even just having this, I mean, how much is in here? So it's 0.27 fluid ounces, 8 milliliters. I mean, this is going to last me quite a while. This will last me, if I was to wear this every day, I think this would last me at least a month, but probably more. So it's a nice way to be able to try something. By the way, I don't have the little like case on either of these because I just couldn't be bothered. Okay, so here is the last scent that I'm gonna talk to all of you about today. Obviously, again, I got it from Scentbird. It is the one that I've most recently gotten. And I was on the fence about this one because reviews can be very polarizing on this one. This is from the brand Heretic, and this is Dirty Hinoki. So just to give you the descriptor on this from the brand website, it says, grounding Hinoki wood blends with crushed herbs for an earthy and ethereal plant-based scent that's a Japanese forest bath in a bottle. Natural ingredients plus safe synthetics. Also available as a candle. So okay, so the top notes of this are lemon, cedar, nutmeg, thyme, and pine. The heart notes are hinoki and cypress, and the base notes are elemi, wormwood, fir absolute, ambretaloid, and balsam and frankincense. Now, here is what I will say, and I think that this is true anytime you're buying a fragrance from a lot of the different like fragrance websites, is I really recommend going to the fragrance brand site to read their inspiration, to read the scent notes in case there's something that got missed in editing or they're just trying to like pare down the vibe. Because through Scentbird, here is what they list as the main notes. So they list cedar, hinoki, cypress, elemi, and frankincense. But they're really missing like quite a few of what I think is kind of essential to this. You're missing the lemon, the nutmeg, the pine, the fir absolute. So I feel like you're missing a lot of the woodsy vibe of this fragrance. I mean, obviously you're gonna know it's woodsy because it's hinoki, but you miss a good chunk of the vibe of this. I mean, you have the lemon and nutmeg in here. I get the lemon at the top, like it gets that like bright, almost slightly bitter vibe at the beginning. But then, you know, the nutmeg adds a little bit of spice. The thyme, it's very herbal, but dries down more into that like deep woodsy scent. I really do like this one. I think actually Jeremy would really like this too, but there's just something so nice about this one. So I do have to say, I can see why this is a bit polarizing because you really have to be into that unisex vibe. This does lean a bit into that like herbal woodsy note. And so I think some people maybe were expecting something different from this, although you should be expecting hinoki wood. But hinoki is a little bit of like a, to me, it's a little bit of a softer, more sexy papery scent, whereas this one definitely has the pine and the balsam. So you're gonna get a little bit of that like Christmas vibe. It's like, what? Okay. So if you tried Ellis Brooklyn Apres, but it was too sweet for you, a little too much of that like slightly more leaning feminine, you know, maybe a little bit, like I said, sweeter. And I don't even know if there's vanilla in Apres, but this is definitely leaning more into just the wood and the herbs and that like ambery smell that you get from frankincense, that more like incensey vibe. And it's not smoky at all, but it definitely is that warm wood scent. I always say like, there's a difference between like wood that's been sitting out in the sun and has gotten warmed up and smells warmer, as opposed to like wood that's on fire and smells smoky. If you know what I'm talking about, please let me know down below. Leave a fire emoji because I'm always like, it's warm wood, but not like a fire. It's not like wood on fire. It's just warm wood. Okay, I see that this is going down a tangent that we don't need to go down. I feel like I have shared with you all my thoughts on these fragrances. I love all of these. I have had so much fun over the past like month or two diving more into fragrance and really finding some unique things to add to my collection. I mean, maybe the last two that I just told you about aren't that unique to my collection. Like I said, I just go towards certain notes. But the other fragrances, honestly, the other fragrances that I've shared with you today are so different than anything else that I've had. And I do really have to attribute that to the olfactif subscription because I wouldn't have tried. Most of these, honestly, I would not have tried that I ended up purchasing full sizes of. So I will make sure to have the olfactif site listed down below along with Scentbird. So if you're interested in checking those out, you can totally do so. And also let me know if you do want to know about those samples that I picked up. I could do like a fast take on them and then let you know the ones that I think would be full-size bottle worthy. All right, now that this room is smelling like all the smells, I am going to take a break. I'm gonna go sniff some coffee beans, but I hope you've all enjoyed this so much. I know that I have. If you did enjoy it, please don't forget to give this video a like, and I will see you really soon.